Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. In this video I'm going to take a look at this well-known machine, the Commodore 128. So it's now in the end of January and we finally got the sun back here up in the Arctic, and that's very nice. We had some very nice days with sun. It's only for a couple of hours each day for now, but it's nice clear air, cold and sunny, and that makes me in a better mood for making a video. I just came back from Hong Kong where I visited my girlfriend, and now she's no longer my girlfriend, she's my fiancée, and I'm very happy about that. However, when I came home I got sick with the flu. I don't know if it's the Nordic variant or the Asian variant, but I've been sick for a week, and now I finally have the energy to make some videos, so we'll see how that goes. Personally, I think the Commodore 128 is a great machine. I had the C64 back in the day, and I loved that, and that's why I always say that that's my favorite retro computer. However, I always wanted this back in the day, but unfortunately I didn't have the money to afford it, so I could only dream. But now I have several of those, so in this video I thought I'll do some upgrades to this very nice machine. And this time too, as well as many other times, when I first turned on the machine I thought it wasn't working because the 4080 display key was pressed. And when you turn it on, then it just looks like this, nothing on the screen, but luckily I remembered it. Switch that off and then just reset it. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. If you need to have produced your own PCBs, then just visit PCBWay and you can get an instant quote for your own PCBs produced for as low as $5 for 5 PCBs. They also do other stuff like advanced PCB. They do CNC machining and 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and prototype PCB assembly, among other things. Also visit their shared project site where you can find a lot of already made PCB designs. So go ahead and visit PCBWay.com and check out their services. When you put this machine in 80 columns display mode, then you can use the CGA output that has a separate port in the back. However, me personally, I don't have many monitors that can actually support that, so I got this. It's the CGA to SCART adapter, and this works with the Commodore 128. I have tested this before in another video. If you want to know more about it, then you can check out that. And that means I can run 80 columns mode on the 128 on this modern TV here that has a SCART input, and it gives excellent results. Now the 80 columns mode wasn't much used. I think there's not many games and Commodore 128 software that uses that mode. However, you can run CPM and then you utilize the 80 columns mode. I have also shown that in a previous video, the same video I think, that you saw this one in. However, that's not the topic of this video. In this video I'm going to do a couple of upgrades for the 128. First of all, I'm going to install this Luma Fix 128. You probably have heard about the Luma Fix for the Commodore 64. I wasn't actually aware that there was a version for the 128, but there is, and I got one here. Secondly, I want to install this U36 expansion ROM. Maybe some of you haven't heard about that either. I for sure didn't know it existed. However, I knew that there was a U36 ROM socket available on this machine, but I never really thought about what that was for, so we're gonna check out this. Both these were donated by one of my viewers, John from Bergen. I mentioned him before. He has donated a lot of things. I got these a long time ago, so I'm sorry I didn't get around to installing them before now, but now it's better late than never. So what is U36, you might ask? Well, it's a chip on the C128 motherboard, and it's not populated from factory. Here's another Commodore 128 motherboard, and as you can see, there's an empty slot here with a socket already populated, and it's labeled U36. So yeah, that's where you can put the additional ROM. The U36 ROM, it only affects the 128 side of the machine. It doesn't affect the C64 mode as far as I know. If you know differently, then please give me a comment below the video. So what is this module? It's called the U36 expansion ROM, the practical way to upgrade your 128. It doesn't say much more than that. It says here the Commodore 128 comes with an empty socket waiting for your new upgrade. It's easy. The U36 expansion ROM simply plugs in, no soldering and no special tools are required. Okay. And inside here there's a very small instruction manual. Let's call it manual, it's just one page. It says a little bit here about what this is and how to install it. A little bit of instructions here, but it should be very simple. Just install here, check notch matches, yeah, we know that. And then how do you use it? Well, there's just a small list here, no further instructions. I don't know too much about this expansion. It says here designed and manufactured by Shareware Plus, and it also mentions here some also available some other utilities, switchable ROMs. I guess that's other products that they sell or did sell, and the ROM itself. You probably hear my voice is not the best. I've been coughing and had sore throat now for 1 week. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, this is labeled GEOS 128 1571 version ROM. So maybe this is only that, the GEOS for the 1571 version. That means it might not be that useful on this machine. I don't have a 1571 drive, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that. I'll come back to that. I just continue this video anyway. And the Luma Fix, well, that is a fix that fixes or reduces jail bars on the video from the Commodore machines, the 128 or the C64. Enjoy image with less stripes. Yeah, this is also manufactured by Shareware Plus. I'm sure you all know what the jail bars are, and they are pretty visible here on this machine. I'm not really sure if it's that visible on the video. I for sure can see it clearly if I zoom in. And that was apparently not a big deal back in the day on the old CRT monitors or TVs. But now with modern monitors, they're much more visible. But they can be reduced. And to reduce them, you simply insert a module between the VIC-2 chip and the motherboard. You take out the VIC-2 chip, you place it in this socket instead, and there's a small PCB with some electronics, and there's also a bunch of adjustment potentiometers here. And the way I think this works is that it feeds the video signal from the VIC-2 chip into this circuit, and then somehow reverts it or inverts it in a way that it reduces the jail bars. And this affects the Luma part of the video signal. That's why it's called Luma Fix. And the reason for this jailbar effect is because there's some interference from some of the lines on the VIC-2 chip. And the effect is reduced by having some electronics that actually inverts the source of the interference and then blends it back into the video signal with these adjustable potentiometers, and thus reducing the effect but not completely removing it. Alright, so let's get started here. I'm going to install the Luma Fix first. There's an extra socket there. I'm not sure if the VIC-2 is in a socket in this machine, but we'll see that soon. I think it's really amazing with the amount of modern expansions and improvements that are being made for our old beloved retro computers all the time. There's always something new, and this is something I think is the most fun to do, actually, to explore these kinds of modern expansions and improvements. And if I can, I want to build them myself. No, this is of course not anything new or revolutionary, but yeah, I got them, I want to install them, and I just want to show you the process and my take on it, even if there's other videos showing the same. You also need to remove this very big heatsink, a combined heatsink and RF shield. Yeah, that was it for opening the machine, and we're in. Yeah, and same here, there's an empty socket here already for U36. So the Luma Fix first, and the VIC-2 chip sits under this box. Can be a little bit tricky to remove. However, there's one issue when you add another layer, a socket, and that is it builds in the height, and that means that this shielding here, which is also combined the heatsink with the RF shield, cannot be used anymore. That's the VIC-2 chip for the 128. The 8566, which is the variant of the VIC-2 for the Commodore 128, is not the same as the one in the C64. This one has 48 pins. The C64 variant is only 40 pins, I think. And this is called the VIC-2E, I think. Besides the physical dimension, I think the difference is that this provides a clock for the Z80 CPU, and it has a few other differences, like some other special registers or something that is used for the 128, not available or necessary on the C64. And this variant also provides a 2 MHz clock, which the Commodore 64 doesn't have. It only runs on 1 MHz. So let me take out the chip. It's not as easy because of the can around here. Hopefully I don't need to remove the can and desolder it. Yeah, gently trying to push it out of the socket, yes. Hopefully it will fit without any additional stuff, like adding another socket. Seems like it actually doesn't fit directly. No, it simply won't. So yeah, you simply need an additional socket, then put it in the socket. That's okay. We still don't get the lid on, so one more socket doesn't matter. Now that's in. Yeah, and then the VIC-2 chip goes back into this. Okay, let's test that first and see if it improves the picture quality and see if we need to adjust it. Yeah, and obviously the lid doesn't fit anymore, so I'll install a couple of heat sinks directly to the chips. So let's see now. Yeah, turns on. However, doesn't seem that it did much actually. I can still clearly see the jail bars, maybe even more than before. There is a dip switch. I didn't notice that. I just read that now in this little manual, which should be turned on. Need to check that. Yeah, in fact, all these potentiometers have their separate dip switch, and they're all off. Okay, so now I turned it on again, and yeah, no, the picture looks crap. Gonna try and adjust the pots. Just need to find a small enough screwdriver. No, it just looks like it's missing some lines. There's really not much change. So the different potentiometers affect the signal from the different lines. The 1 MHz, the RAS line, the CHAR, the CAS, the MUX, the 2 MHz. Yeah, I'll try to adjust this, see if I can get some improvement. It says you need to turn 12 times to turn the whole potentiometer. Nah, I can't see any difference at all. But obviously this is not correct. Yeah, there I can see some difference. But why is the jail bar so very noticeable? Okay, so if I turn this first pot, you see the jail bars on the black, they get smaller, but eventually it stops. Second pot. Oh, well, now we're getting something. Yeah, no, it looks good, but still not perfect. Maybe now if I adjust the other ones. Yeah, now it's improving. I just adjust everyone to what I can perceive as the best picture. I mean, on the green I can't see any jail bars anymore, but on the gray they're still a little bit noticeable. I can adjust it to be worse, but not so much better. Yeah, that's good, huh? No, I cannot see any visible jail bars on the gray, and not on the green either. Not sure if this comes out good on the video, but yeah, no, the jail bars are completely gone, at least for my eyes. I can see that the camera makes some very thin lines vertically, but that's because I'm filming the screen, I think. I don't see that on the actual TV. Yeah, I think that looks better. I'm gonna do some more adjustment, just see if I can get it even better, but yeah, I think this looks good. Yeah, it seems like it was the last or the most upper or the most close to me pot that had the most effect here. So if I turn it back now the other way, yeah, you see the gel bars, they appear very visible. I turn it the other way and voila, they're gone. However, does it affect the overall quality of the picture? I mean, the text here, and yeah, does it make the text more blurry? Actually, I don't remember how it was before I changed now, but yeah, I'm gonna take it out now and then compare. This is the before picture, and then I take out the Luma Fix and compare it. So this is the after picture. Yeah, definitely the text is no less blurry. but we now can see the jail bars. With the Luma Fix, the text is much more blurry, but we can't see the jail bars, so I'm not really sure if it's worth it then. Yeah, there's a lot of adjustments. Now I actually turned off some of the adjustments, and now it seems that the text is more clear, but now we're back to some other issues. It seems like as soon as I turn on the possibility to adjust the different signals, the text goes a little bit more blurry. Now I only have the 1 megahertz and the RAS lines enabled for adjustment, and seems to be better. I can't completely get rid of the jail bars. I enabled and adjusted all the lines now, and yeah, this is the best I can get it, but I don't like see more blurriness on the overall picture. How about the C64 mode? Yeah, that looks good too. I think it's better than the 128 when it comes to the text and the blurriness. I'm not really sure. It's actually hard to tell. If you could compare side by side, then you would definitely see it. Now turning off and then changing the settings and turning it on again. Hard to notice the difference. Anyway, I'm gonna keep it for now, test it a little bit, see if this is what I want, and I need to make a decision if I want to use the Luma Fix or just go without it. This will vary from machine to machine, I guess, because the level of distortion or noise in the signals are different on different machines and chips. This is C64 mode without the Luma Fix, and definitely you see the jail bars. Otherwise, I don't see any difference. Maybe I'm just imagining that it got a little bit more blurry. Let me do another comparison. This is without the Luma Fix. I zoomed in real good. Now I'm turning off the machine and inserting the Luma Fix. Luma Fix is in, turning on. Yeah, I don't know. I need to put the bitmaps side by side to see the difference. So let's do that. Here's side by side. Maybe there's a difference. What do you think? Do you think it's worth the hassle to install a Luma Fix? Yeah, write in the comments below. How about some graphics, games? Padman. Yeah, it looks alright, I think. Yeah, I mean, with the Luma Fix, it looks perfectly alright. If I didn't know there were Luma Fix installed, I wouldn't notice anything different. You can still see on some colors some very faint jail bars, I guess. That was the Luma Fix. Now let's see what we can do with this guy. Installing the chip should be simple enough. Just gonna clean up a little bit this unused socket. Has probably been unused for 30 years maybe or more. A little bit of contact cleaner. I noticed for the Luma Fix it actually came with a little screwdriver. I think that's the smallest screwdriver I have ever seen. If this is only the GEOS and it needs a 1571 floppy disk drive, then there's not much use for it, I guess. Since I don't have a 1571 drive, but I'm gonna install it anyway and test it. As usual, the pins are a little bit too wide for a socket. Squeeze them a little bit together. Yeah. Now it's in. No, after taking the keyboard off the case, I found this. So one of the tabs has broken off. I think the plastics is starting to get brittle. So I don't expect to see anything different now when I turn on the machine. Well, it actually did something else. So it seems like it booted into something, but now it's just hanging. So I guess it's waiting for floppy disk drive with some original GEOS disks in it. Yeah, so that's exactly what it is. This is only the GEOS. And this is just a generic instructions for whatever ROM you got. I mean, it doesn't contain all this. This was a mistake from me, thinking that if you have the basic 8 ROM, then you hold control on boot. Well, if we don't have that, why don't we just make one ourselves? If you have an EEPROM burner, you should easily be able to make these yourself. And here on the simmers.net, you find most, if not all, of those mentioned ROMs. Here's the basic 8, and here's even the GEOS. This is for the 1581. I actually have a 1581, but I don't have the discs I need for the 1581. This is the basic 8 extension, and here's the keyDOS, and here's the servant and the superchip A. All these are for the Commodore 128. So I simply pull this out again, keep it for later. I haven't really done much with the GEOS operating system on the Commodore machines. I really like to test it out, but this is nothing more than just a simple EEPROM that has been programmed, and then they put this label onto that. Nothing special. Anyone with an EEPROM burner can do that. Just need to find a blank EEPROM. I have this box full of EEPROMs. Yeah, looking at the Simmers page, I see that most of the files are 32 kilobytes or less, so I guess it's a 32 kilobyte ROM that I need. So we need a 27 series ROM, and yeah, since the ROM sizes are given in kilobits, we need a 256 variant. Let's see. Yes, this is a STM27C256. Hook up the regular old burner here. I don't know if this is programmed or not. I'll see that when I try to program it. If it's not, then I need to erase it with a UV eraser. So I was thinking I try the basic 8 first. I already downloaded the Superchip, Servant, Diskmaster, and the Megabit, and the basic 8. So now we need to search for the chip. It's the ST, and the ROM. We just type 27C256, select ST, and there it is. DIC28. That's correct. Load the file I just downloaded. Basic 8. Now we should be able to see some text. Yeah. And then just burn that. And I usually remove the check ID. Then hit program. No, that failed. So yeah, probably this chip needs to be blanked first. I'm just going to do that. Takes maybe 10 minutes in the UV eraser. This is the UV eraser. It has UV lights inside. You just insert one or more chips into this tray. And then turn it on. So now it's on for 35 minutes. You can adjust that by pressing this button. It goes down to 10 minutes. In the meantime, I can see if I have another chip that's blank. Yeah, I found a bunch of other chips, same type, 256. However, I think most of these are bought from AliExpress or eBay, so They might be pulled out of other machines or something and still be programmed. But I'm gonna program this, see if it works. No, oh, that failed too. I'm actually gonna try and read this chip, see if it has something. Yes, it has a lot of stuff. Okay, just gonna wait for this to complete then. I also have a bunch of these EEPROMs. These are electrically erasable EEPROMs from Winbond, and these you don't need a UV light to erase. You can just erase it in the EEPROM burner. However, these are 512, that is 64 kilobytes. So I might try that one, but then I need to double up the binary file for that ROM. The easiest way to copy the same file into another file twice is to use the copy command in command prompt in Windows with /b, which means binary copy, and then you just concatenate files with a plus like this, and the output is basic 8 times 2.bin. So now if we list that, we should have a basic 8 times 2, which is 64 kilobytes. So that can be used now to burn on this 64 kilobyte EEPROM. So even if the ROM contains the double amount of data, it has the same number of pins, and now I need to find that chip, and it's a W27C512 Winbond, and it's the DIP28, so I select that, and now I can use the erase to erase it first. Yeah, that succeeded, and now I just load the double variant here, 8 times 2, and now we should be able to program that. Yeah, that seems to work, and it verified successfully, so now that's burnt. So that saved me some time, and now I can insert that chip here and see if it works. Yeah, now it's in. The machine booted as normally, and according to that little note, we should start basic 8 by holding control while booting. Let's see if that works. Well, it did something, but the something it did doesn't look right. Well, again, I didn't do my research properly before I tested this. The basic 8 actually needs a disk too, and it actually requires 80 column mode, so not able to test that. That's why it just blanked the screen. It probably just showed the output on the 80 column mode. So that's not funny. This is not going very well, I think. Okay, but since we have a EEPROM, we can easily just erase it and reprogram it again. Let's try the next one, and this one is Servant. I did the same thing, I doubled it up, and let's program it now. Servant is a disk utility program, so I might need to hook up a disk drive, but I'm just thinking about actually just checking if it works or not. I actually found the documentation for this Servant, or some documentation for it. It has a lot of different stuff for handling floppy disks. Apparently this ROM will always start up when you power on the machine in 128 mode, so there's no way to bypass it, and I think when they made this, you actually just hook it up to a switch, like if you take one of the pins, like pin 28, which I guess is power, 5 volts, and hook it up to a switch. You can switch the ROM on and off. I'm not going to do that. Does this work then, or am I completely out of luck here? Yeah, that actually worked. The Servant 484. I mean, the color is crap, black over yellow. That's yeah, not very nice to look at on my TV at least. Doesn't look too bad on the video. It adjusted itself a little bit. Yeah, so here's some commands you can do. Boot disk, run disk, and there's some disk tools. Monitor, Go 64, swap 4080, call XROM, and format QBB, and the DOS command. 5 disk tools. So it probably detected that I don't have a floppy drive inserted. Let's try Go 64. Yeah, let's try 9 Go 64 I meant. So if you hold the stop key while booting, it's supposed to go into the monitor, which it did, and then you can just exit out of the monitor and you're in basic. So yeah, that's one way to avoid loading this ROM. Yeah, so that's some helpful tools if you have a Commodore 128 with a floppy disk drive. I'm not gonna test out anything of that. The at key is a DOS command. Yeah, okay. 8, renew graphics screen, yes. Okay, I don't know what that is. So the documentation probably tells you the details for this one, but apparently it works. Let's try another one then. I actually decided to hook up the 1581 drive after all. I mean, probably most of these tools are disk tools anyway. Now I just try to search this floppy that I inserted, but it's not formatted for this drive, so it just struggles with that. Yeah, so with these tools we should be able to format. There's a header format command there. Put disk into drive 8 and format whole disk B. Enter name, ID. Yes. Yeah, it's formatting, all right. It's clicking away. By the way, this floppy disk drive, the 1581, I built myself from a 1581 motherboard replica, and the actual case I printed on my 3D printer. I made a couple of videos about that previously. If you want to take a look at that, just search my channel. Yeah, so that completed. Yeah, and here's some copying tools and stuff. So now it should be formatted. Yeah, we have the directory command. Yeah, so there it is. That worked nicely. That's enough about the servant tool. Let's check another one. And now these should be erased. They're quite warm, but that's from the light, obviously. So now I'm using one of those chips. I'm going to check out this super chip. Now if this is erased, we should be able to program it. Yes, that succeeded. Take off the Winbound chip and replace it with this one, the ST. I have no idea what this ROM does. Let's just turn it on, see. It didn't do anything, but you're supposed to press help to activate it. Yeah, look at that. So F1 nibbler, F2 go to 64 and load, F3 file copier, and there's a sequential file reader, terminal, screen dump, sector editor, and deload. F1 for nibbler. Okay, so that's copying tool. Yeah, you can copy from one drive to another, and you can specify the tracks and stuff like that. But how do you exit? What's a terminal? Yeah, I guess that's the terminal program if you have a modem and it is using 80 column mode. I'm not going to bother with setting up that, but what else do we have? F6 screen dump. didn't do anything. Maybe I should have read the documentation if there is some for this. F7 is sector editor. Okay, so yeah, that's a disk sector editor. If you wanna do something here, press question mark for help T. If I wanna enter some text directly onto this sector 0 and save it, and then write W. Yes, I will write. Okay, so now I've written the word test onto sector 0 on this floppy. Apparently this went into C64 mode. Just gonna make a little program and save that. I wanted to test the F3 file copier. F3, insert source disk into drive. I did that. There's a files, yes or no, yes. Insert destination disk into drive, yes. Same disk, and it says file exists. Yeah, so that's okay, that works. Yeah, so not very helpful, that tool there. I couldn't find any additional documentation for that ROM, but last thing I'm gonna try out is the disk master. Now I use the other chip instead of waiting for erasing it. Load that, disk master X2. I'm really sorry about filming the screen. It doesn't look good, but yeah, I think it's too much work to use screen capture and then all the editing and stuff. I'm a little bit lazy today. Replace the chip. If you know about other stuff that you can put into this socket for the U36, then I really want to know about it in the comments. I mean, what's the fun in testing out these old tools that nobody uses anymore? Is there anything else useful you can use that for? Now, what is this going to do? It didn't do anything, but I think you need to hold a key when you boot. Let's see if holding the control key helps. Yeah, did. Disk master 128, main menu. Yeah, so it's just a regular disk utilities tool, this, you know, and yeah, like format disk and copy files. Place disk to be formatted in drive, enter disk name, ID 2. Yeah, seems to work just fine. Sure enough, it finished. You can enter auto boot message, enter screen message. Yeah, Arctic Retro, for example. Enter boot program. Is program basic or M1? I don't think this will work. Yeah, we see it's formatted. Yeah, booting Arctic Retro. Cool. I mean, I think this means you can actually make a basic or machine code program. I don't know. I'm create a bootable floppy from that. Yeah, I think that was it. You've seen some of the things you can do to extend the Commodore 128 using the U36 chip. So now I'm just going to pull this out. But I was thinking, I want to explore that GEOS chip after all. Let me think about a way to be able to boot. Now that I have the floppy disk drive here, I could produce the GEOS floppy disks. Obviously, And the clue with having some parts of the GEOS operating system in ROM is obviously that it's faster to load. Alright, so I played around a little bit more with this, and obviously the chip with the 1571 variant of GEOS don't work with 1581, nothing happens. So I actually took and downloaded the 1581 version of the ROM, and I have inserted that. Yeah, no, it actually loads, but nothing happens on the screen. I wonder, does the GEOS use the 80 color mode? I mean, the CGA output? I was thinking, and yes, look at this. Hey, I just hooked up this small CRT monitor, and it is only black and white, but it uses CGA, and yeah, now the GEOS has loaded. Nice. So let's see now. I turned off the machine. Let me turn it on. Let's check what happens on that screen and how long it takes for it to boot. Yeah, that didn't take a long time. That's no more than my Windows machine use now when it boots. How about if I just press the reset button? Does it go any quicker? Yeah, it loaded. I don't know if it was any quicker. Yeah, and the big screen remains black. It wasn't my plan actually to try out and install GEOS and test it out, but now that I get it running, I'm definitely gonna use that CGA to SCART adapter and see how it looks onto the main screen. But before that, I just want to check out what happens if you don't have the GEOS ROM in U36. Does it make any difference? Okay, let's turn on. Yeah, obviously it makes a difference. Nothing happened. I thought you could boot and run GEOS from floppy without having any ROMs installed. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. There's, well, maybe I have to run it manually. Yeah, of course. Yes, now it loads. Having used the Commodore machines for many years, and back in the day, I actually never tested out GEOS, I think. Okay, it just hangs there, so apparently it doesn't work without the chip, at least not the floppy I got. There was just one floppy for 1581, should contain everything. Apparently it doesn't load without the chip. It tries to do something, but then it just hangs. Okay, let's see if I can get it running on the big screen in colors. I just found a SCART cable here, and this adapter also needs power, 5 volts. And I also need to find a mouse. I don't have the original Commodore mouse that works with the 128 and GEOS. I don't think the Amiga mouse works, but I think I have an adapter for a regular mouse, like a PS2 mouse. Yes, here's an adapter that goes from PS2 mouse to Commodore. Yeah, so that goes into there, and now that simulates the 15, what was it called again? 1351 mouse, I think. So now I won't be able to see the regular output from the machine, only the CGA, and obviously I need to, well, I need to insert the adapter, obviously. Yeah, that works. The mouse, the mouse doesn't work. I mean, it responds to clicks, but something's wrong. But anyway, it shows a picture. It's still monochrome. I'm not really sure if it's supposed to have colors or not. I don't know. I just put the machine in 80 column mode and just to see what happens if you boot, but apparently then it won't boot. So you're not supposed to have it in the 80 columns mode. So does it work with an Amiga mouse? And yeah, it doesn't work. Hooked up to the Amiga mouse, it responds to movement, but it's totally wrong directions and the buttons don't work. I'm not sure what kind of mouse to use here or if there's some options. Ah, it's set up to use a joystick. Now I get it. Now I can use it, but perhaps we can change that. Maybe this is the correct. Select input. Yeah, there we have it. Joystick and the 1351. Change to that. Yeah, now the joystick stopped working. And the PS2 mouse works. Yeah, nice. GEOS info. Berkeley software. So what do we have here? It did save the settings with regards to the mouse. What else can we do? Preferences. So here's some settings. Oh, you can change the colors. Yeah, it's like using Windows or Mac OS. Yeah, on the main menu you have things like open disk, close, rename, copy, you can format. There's apparently keyboard shortcuts. You can open and duplicate files. Switch 4080, alright, so you can actually use it in 40 mode. Yeah, that was what I was thinking. If I change to 40 column mode, I need to change the SCART connector. Yeah, so this was fun. I guess running in 80 column modes with no memory expansion, you only get monochrome. In 40 column modes, you probably get colors. I'm not sure if that's the reason, but I guess in 80 column mode, the memory usage for the graphics is too high for colors. Alright, that was fun, I think. Always exciting to do some new stuff on the old Commodore machines, I think, or any old machine for that matter. So this was a video about how you can expand your Commodore 128 with new features. Well, new, this is old stuff. So you could do this back in the day too, nothing particularly modern here, except for that CGA to SCART module and the mouse converter. But yeah, really fun. Hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, and just want to say thanks for watching, and special thanks to my members and my Patreons. See you next time. Bye bye.